Alrighty, this is going to be in regards to Andy's scenario number 033 or 33. I am testing it, and by testing it I mean I'm playing it. It is May 25, 1942. Here's the situation. I know that the Andy scenario is historical. There's only one pathway that the AI does, semi-historical, and also that the scripts are improved, which is very good. So let's talk about the scripts and go theater by theater. USA, whatever, that's just resupply and reinforcements. So I did some work on Dutch Harbor. There was absolutely no interference. I think there was one submarine discovered here, maybe, but really no interference here. The only bad thing is the weather. Well, we all know that, right? Right, here's Japan. All of these submarines were based in Surabaya, then in Darwin and Pearl Harbor. And the problem with the computer is that it does not do convoys. I don't know if Andy can code it in. Maybe it's hard coded in that it's automatic supply or whatever, but it looks like the computer is very allergic to convoys. It just doesn't like it. So even though the submarines, their rate of successfully hitting with a torpedo and getting an explosion, because the torpedoes that the Allies are using are faulty, they're really murderizing the Japanese fleet by the home islands. And they also surface and shoot their submarine cannons, and they get the ships that way too. If the skipper is aggressive enough, and most of them are. So that's a problem, but I don't know if it can be fixed. I think it's hard-coded in the game. Land warfare in China. Holy shit. We too low. Holy fuck. If you get the joke, congratulations. If you don't, Google it. Anyway, this should not be the situation in China in May 25, 1942. I should not be fighting in Xinjiang. Okay? I should not be fighting. Actually, I had Anyang, they threw me out. I had Kaoping, they threw me out. So kudos. But I should not be competing here, especially in Chengchao and Kaifeng. I should not be, on Fortification 3 and having forces here and competing. I should not be able to compete here at all. Maybe make some scripts that will run concurrently in China, not just one base and then another base, but I don't know. I really don't know. The big problem in China is this units in goodness, which one is it? This is hex 9136. Okay, there's like 3 divisions here, and they've been stuck here since the beginning of the game. They just blitzed me and pushed everything away. They got here and that's it. And there's nothing here. It's not a road. It's not a railroad. It's not a road. They just sit here behind the river and do nothing. Maybe they should be going for Kuei-Sui. Okay, that's what I'm thinking should be happening, but they're just here. I didn't know what units they were, and I pushed a Chinese corps, actually corps, part of a Chinese corps, and it was divided into ABC, so I pushed like a C here, and they got obliterated. They got destroyed because there's 3 divisions here, plus more supporting troops. So they're just sitting here doing nothing. So this script fucking failed. Okay. Right. So I should not be competing here. There's absolutely no threat to Changsha. Okay, nothing. They're sitting behind the river in Kukiang and Nanchang. I was competing for Wuchang until I got a bloody nose and got thousands of casualties because there's a lot of troops here. So I withdrew, and now I'm just laying here in the roads and waiting for them, and they're not doing nothing. They should be pushing to Changsha. They're not. Even though my supply sucks, it's China. I mean, I am competing on this in the clear hexes here. I mean, that's bad. I guess it's the limitations of this old game. AI. Well, AI scripting, really. Right, I defended Wuchao, and then I guess moved, not really counterattacked, but moved to Canton, and I took Canton with industry. And it works fine. So I'm building forts here. Well, actually I'm not, because I moved my Chinese Air Force and my AVG here, and they're getting obliterated by the Japanese. So kudos to the Japanese AI. Scripting, they're obliterating me. So they're gonna die here. But I took Canton. I should not be able to take Canton, really. I mean, I threw these guys out. There's 7 enemy units from Canton. They threw them out, and they are just not pushing to Canton. No reinforcements, and they're just not pushing. I guess, I'm not sure if there's a river here. They're afraid of that, but yeah, it's they should be. I should not be getting Canton at all. Burma AI impressed me. The script impressed me. They blitzed me. I was defending Rangoon, and these guys did a number on me. I got a few surrenders, and these guys were then retreating. But they tried to retreat, but the Japanese tank units were very fast, and they moved on these roads, and they moved all the way to Magwe, and then moved to Mandalay, and moved to Shwebo, and there's lots of banzais, and I was sweating. I was really sweating. Until today, because on May 25th, the situation is these guys took Magwe and Mandalay, but they didn't garrison them. Okay? they didn't garrison them. So I moved staff from Tangui, which is building Fortification 3 and building Fortification 4 at 79%. But there's way too many troops here. There's not enough supply, so I moved some stuff, especially tank units. They move fast on roads, so I moved them to Magwe and Meiktila. Sorry, excuse me, in Mandalay. Okay. Yeah, in Mandalay, and yeah, I should actually move one unit here to no, you're gonna be combat. Which is the tank unit? Okay. I should take Mingyan, which is the DAT base, which Andy made. So let's take it, because it's red and it's interrupting my supplies, and that's not good. Yeah. So let's do that, and yeah, these guys pushed in, which is great. They blitzed me, 35,900 troops, almost 36,000 troops. That's great, but they should have garrisoned all these bases. I think Andy, maybe you forgot to code that in. I don't know what's going on here. These guys are running from, oh man, from Rangoon, and I'm trying to withdraw them into Akyab, and they keep teleporting because they're getting set upon by these guys. And yeah, here's other remnants, and they're set upon by these guys. So they get chased all the way from Rangoon. So kudos, that's correctly done. However, the big problem is Magwe. You know, these guys blitzed 35,900 troops, almost 300 guns, and 110 tanks. They blitzed all the way to Shwebo. Okay, hooray, to close the Burma Road, but they didn't garrison these guys, Mandalay and Magwe. So that's a problem. Okay, these guys are waiting for Tangui. They maybe recognize that there's too much stuff here, and I don't know, maybe the script broke, but maybe they are intelligent enough to recognize that there's too much stuff here. I'm mostly using my bombers to do supply runs. Instead of bombings, I started bombing these guys now, and they're in the open, and they're getting murderized by my British bombers, which are Blenheims and Wellingtons and Wallis, and they're in the open, right? Yeah, it's a clear hex, so they're getting murderized. There is no air support from Rangoon. It's too far, I think. It's too far. I tried bombing these guys. They are long-range capes over these guys, but these guys have no protection. So they're all alone, cut off from supply, and getting murderized by the planes. Oh, by the way, I'm playing on hard. So on hard, the AI to 45 AM. Jesus Christ. This fucking game. And yeah, on hard the AI cheats and gets supply, but I'm not sure how much. And if they are cut off here, maybe they should feel the pinch. So let's see. Right, supplying Akyab. Right. No, you're supposed to go here. Right, and you're supposed to go here. Thank you. And you cannot unload. Why can't you unload? Because there's no port here. Ha! That's hilarious. Okay, that's hilarious. Okay, oops. Live and learn. Where's this guy going? Twangui? No, you're going to Mandalay. Okay. And this guy is going to Twangui? No, you're not. You are going to Mandalay. To Schwebo, excuse me. And going to Schwebo. So, yikes, I should be talking, not playing. Stop it, Timo, stop it. Okay, so there was a Japanese submarine here. There's still one. It was waiting patiently all game until I moved my British force, and I moved them to Calcutta to intervene in Akyab when the Japanese get here. But the submarine got my heavy cruiser. Hooray, good for them. But this submarine, I guess it's Japanese doctrine, they're waiting for the big ships. They don't take anything cargo wise. That's just the way Japanese operated. That's historical. So the way my convoys are going, especially tankers, they're mostly going to Colombo. Some are going to I don't know, Bombay or Cochin or whatever, to India to spread the goodness around. I'm mostly supplying Australia from Perth, so I'm running shuttle from Cape Town to Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is expanding port, and all my tankers are unprotected because I have no danger here whatsoever. So from Diego Garcia I go to Perth here, so I go from here to Diego Garcia to Perth, or directly from Cape Town to Perth, and yeah, I got lots of fuel that way. So that's the situation right now. I'm completely brazen and not protecting anything because there's no submarines here. Maybe move a submarine or two here to Diego Garcia and Perth. That would be good, and that would keep me on my toes, because right now Australia is getting supplied with fuel with zero problems. Okay, on this side. Right. Here is the situation in Port Moresby. Speaking of Port Moresby, here's I moved the garrison is 325 assault value. I moved some junk here, and I moved a lot of junk into 488 into Darwin. The computer gave me enough time to evacuate everything. I was running evacuations from all these areas. Maybe not from Kuching and Singkawang, but all of these areas from Celebes and from these areas, I was running, basically evacuating using my ships, amphibious task forces to evacuate into Surabaya, Batavia, and Palembang. And it's May 25, 1942, and this has been going for a while. They cannot break me down. Yeah, it's a problem for AI. They should land in Palembang. They should run, two things should happen. They should run a lot of stuff into Palembang. They should not be going into Batavia and Surabaya and Palembang all at the same time, because that's not good. They should take one, then the other, then the other. What I did like, the AI did, the script did, was they're running around Borneo. I called it the Circle of Death. So what they did was they run the CVs, the Kitabutai, and they just obliterated each base in turn, right? So they shut down my airfields, and that was actually very good. And another cool thing that they did was they landed on Oosthaven, and there's a lot of stuff here air-wise, land-air, and they just brutalized my Palembang and Batavia together with CVs, with the Kitabutai. So kudos to the AI, very well written. The same thing is actually happening in Port Moresby. They're running from Rabaul to Port Moresby. They're bombing the bejesus out of them, and then they're withdrawing, resupplying, and coming back again. So it's half circle of death, even worse. So the same thing happened here, and they shut down my airfields. Very well done, Andy, and the scripts. Very well done. However, I would suggest concentrating on one base. Either I would go for Palembang first, blitz it, get it, then maybe Batavia, and then Surabaya, one at a time. Just do it one at a time, because right now it's not working. It's not working. I am resisting too well. Okay, I will die in Batavia soon. But I am resisting too well for too long, especially Palembang. So yeah, that's a problem. Singapore was done very well historically. They moved in, they throttled the supply by using air bombings and bombardments, and Singapore did well. But after that, yeah, too many, going into 3 bases at once is a mistake, I think, in the Dutch East Indies, especially since the computer, I cannot stress this enough, gave me time to evacuate as much as I wanted from Ambon, all the way from here into Darwin and into Surabaya, into Batavia. I was using air assets, air transport planes, and ships, and they were just moving in. So that's a problem. Two problems. My evacuation was not interfered with because they were busy. Well, they were busy subjugating the Philippines, I guess. Not I guess, but that's what we were doing. So they were busy subjugating the Philippines, which they did a very good job of, and Singapore. So nothing was here to interfere. So that's a problem. But I gotta say, once the circle of death started happening, I had to evacuate everything. And but I could time it, using the naval search of my airplanes, especially PBYs and some Dutch ones. I actually could. I took out several task forces in the breaks between the carriers and the escorts. I actually did a full speed runs into, I guess, Bima and Denpasar and Banjarmasin as bombardment forces / surface, and I obliterated several task forces, amphibious task forces, and just the Dutch Navy is no joke. The Dutch Navy is no joke in this one. So yeah, that the cooperation could be better, or maybe if you go into Banjarmasin, I mean, there was too small of a task force, not very well protected, so especially since Surabaya is right next door. I mean, 10 hexes, right? They do it in at night. They just caught them and just killed everybody. All those ships and all those Japanese drowned. So that was a problem. But I could do it less and less once the circle of death with Kidabutai started going, and once it got into gear, I had to evacuate all my destroyers and everything, and I lost a few ships, mostly through air attack. So yeah, I already talked about Perth. I feel completely brazen and unthreatened by even a submarine from Diego Garcia to Perth. This run is golden, and I just supply Australia that way with no problems. So next turn I might make a new video. I'm gonna try to catch the Japanese carriers here with my 2 American ones. Wish me luck, I will die. I might save scum. I'm just curious how this will go, because I moved at the beginning of the game. That's another thing. I moved Lexington and Enterprise from Pearl Harbor, and what I did was I moved them from Pearl Harbor, right from here. I moved them not directly, but I actually did sail by this area, so bombed some ships here. And first thing I did was I went to Wake Island, and I bombed and beat the shit out of the first invasion force. It's not very well protected, so in this script, if you move, when you move your carriers to Wake Island, you beat the shit out of this amphibious task force. As a bonus, you get this fantastic fighter squadron from Wake Island. So you get them on this on your as reinforcements, as extra stuff on your carrier, which is golden. Then I moved here, and you know, the Bettys tried, but there weren't enough Bettys here, not escorted at all, and I had 100% cap, so I just murderized the Bettys based in this area, and I killed some ships here, and then I moved to Australia. Speaking of evacuations, I evacuated everything from Rabaul, from Kavieng, from Lae, Wau, and say it with me, Salamaua. And I evacuated them using both ships and air assets into Port Moresby. That's why I have 325 garrison here. So, yeah, the computer does not interfere enough with the evacuations. If the player wants to evacuate, there should be a couple of submarines. Japan has enough submarines at the beginning of the game. They should be around here, by Rabaul, by Port Moresby. They should be around, you know. I know historically they are by Sydney, but a few should be by Port Moresby and by Rabaul and these areas to prevent evacuation. And for Dutch East Indies, the submarines should be also around here. And there were, but they weren't effective enough. I had enough destroyers at the beginning of the game to kill, not kill them, but make them go back to repair. And after that, it was clear sailing, and I could evacuate everything. So evacuations is a problem. So the big problems, well, first of all, what works well? Everything works well, really, especially the naval part. They work very well. What could be worked on is, and remember, this is 033, 33, scenario 33, and this historical, where Japan gets no extra stuff, but it gets fixed AI, fixed scripting by Andy, and thank you for doing this. So, Bandaremasin is too exposed. I would suggest get Palembang. Osthaven is very well done, so get that. Get Palembang, get Osthaven, then work on Batavia, then work on Surabaya, and then maybe work on Bandaremasin. Okay. I was thinking, and you know, I don't think you can do anything with this stupid computer the way it's set up, hard-coded, that we don't do convoys. I mean, my submarines were sinking left and right. I had lots of submarines here, and they were sinking tankers and AKs, you know, cargo ships left and right here. So I don't think you can do anything with that. If you can, that would be awesome, because you know, let's look at the losses. All right, air-to-air losses. Allied 790, Japanese 1,836, and that's mostly Bettys and Nellies, which are flying unescorted everywhere. So that's a problem. Oh, speaking of destroyed on airfields, I was running Darwin is actually a very good base now. It's what's the level? It's huge. It's level 6 going to 7. Wow. So I was running reconnaissance. One squad was doing reconnaissance, and the rest of them were bombing. And Lauten was shut down. They just obliterate this airfield and this airfield. Koepang and Lauten, they landed some planes here, and they were just obliterated. Before they got a chance to set up my heavy bombers, which I evacuated here. Hudson 3, B-20, Hudson 3s and B-17s, they just obliterated the hell out of them, and that's that. This area is going to be unworkable for the Japanese unless they send the Kirebutai here. So I think Darwin is protected enough. They actually have almost 500 AV, 488. And oh, speaking of Darwin, I tried running supply from Cairns and Townsville, and going to Horns Island and using my P-40s here to protect them. And it kind of sort of worked, but I lost a few ships to air attack and to submarines. But again, from Perth side, I'm running ships here from Perth into Darwin, unprotected. And in the beginning, I had some nails here, which took out 1 or 2 ships. But then I moved bombers and just shut it down. So now I'm running from Perth all the way to Darwin, and there's no enemy counteraction whatsoever. This area of the map is clear of the Japanese, totally. Maybe there was a submarine coming here on this coast, but this is shallow water here, and I shut it down. I think I got 1 or 2 submarines, so at least, maybe not kill them, but at least at least got them to repair. So that's that. So Suva also had some submarine activity, but moved the task force here for anti-submarine warfare, and we shut it down. Same with Nomea. I'm no longer running anti-submarine warfare. Well, I am actually. Whoops, my bad. I am running it still. So 3 waypoints. First one is to port to refuel, and then a couple days loitering in the other 2 points, and no more submarines. Or if they are, they're completely shut down by air power, which I moved here. I'm even training here. I'm not even doing ASW. Wow, 8 maintenance damaged. Okay, so yeah, it's very Japanese submarines are totally ineffective. Maybe I should have taken historical restrictions, but oh well. So yeah, the things I learned from this campaign versus the computer, and I'm still continuing, is if the Japanese want something bad enough, they will get it. There's nothing I can do. They will take losses, especially if they play dumb, like they don't do convoys, which they don't do, or don't protect their Banderyamasin amphibious task force, so I could run in and just obliterate it and run back all in one turn. But if they want something bad enough, they will take it. They will take it. And there's nothing I can do. So we'll see how this Lexington Enterprise Task Force does here. It's very interesting. Oh my god, it looks like these guys are moving back, and these guys are immediately coming back to reinforce them. So maybe that's a mistake that I'm doing. Because it looks like Andy did very well, because half of the Kirabutai is moving to Port Moresby to obliterate it, and the other half is going for resupply. And they do it all the time. So yeah, pretty well done. Good script. I will run this turn, and I will watch myself get obliterated, just for testing purposes, because now that I see these guys moving southwest, and these guys will move here, and oh my god, I will die. So next turn I will actually make a video of this battle, and yeah, that's that. So these are my conclusions on the Andy script. Naval side, invasions, 95% very well done. Okay. The only problem was Banderyamasin and Dutch East Indies not very well protected, and my Dutch guys could come in here and submarines and sink the shit out of them. So that's a problem. Land war in Asia, I don't know. It's not working in China. It's just not working, especially these guys. Maybe the script got broken. In Hex 9136, there's just 3 divisions plus extra regiment or whatever here, and just sitting here doing nothing. So it's a problem. I don't know what they're supposed to do, but they blitzed me, and that's it. Maybe they're out of supply and they can't move back and do whatever their mission was, because I'm still competing here. And I shouldn't be. Same with Burma. Yeah, so land war is the big problem. I mean, they blitzed me to Mandalay, and yikes, didn't garrison anything, so that's a problem. And I'm an idiot, because there's not a port here, and they cannot unload, obviously. Okay, so let's go to Cox's Bazar, I guess. Right. Cox's Bazar. So, oops. Hey everybody, Uncle Timo is an idiot. Didn't notice this. That's something to notice, that Akiap doesn't have a port. But anyway, Akiap will be my main airbase / defensive one. I will commit British battleships to bombard if the Japanese show up here. It's far enough from Rangoon that they should be okay if they get a torpedo. Whatever. But I will defend Akiap to the death, and I will use air power to just obliterate these guys first and then compete here. So yeah. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, let me save it. Timo Solo, Andy Scenario 033. And those are my impressions of Andy's scripting. And actually, you know, naval, 95% awesome. 5% stupid. Not enough protection. But, you know, I mean, this is really hard to code. You have to predict human thinking and human, you know, even if I said to myself I play historically, but it's hard to, human is a hard to predict creature, and you're doing scripting from, you know, the beginning, you know, whatever, December 7, 1941 to now, and you're trying to predict everything. Incredibly well done, Andy. Okay, 95% naval is fantastic. The Circle of Death, where they just, Kirabutai is just obliterating everything. The Death Star effect is in full effect, and it's awesome to watch, and I'm learning a lot by playing this. Really, the only thing that needs to be fixed big time is the land war in Asia. You know, I was shocked by how well, once Rangoon fell, how well they blitzed me. I was afraid and sweating, and then I noticed that, hey, Magwe and, you know, not enough garrisons. So, oh well. Anyway, that's that. And yeah, next video I will probably do an experiment and see how the Kirabutai murderizes me. That should be fun. Goodbye.